Ray Dalio, a well-known investor and founder of Bridgewater Associates, has recently shared some urgent concerns about the global economy. With debt reaching record highs and inflation driving up the cost of everyday items, many are asking, how can we protect our savings? Rising political conflicts and changing global power dynamics add more confusion. What does this mean for our investments and financial plans? How should we adjust our strategies in such uncertain times? Plus, with new technologies and evolving markets, where should we put our money? Well, to know all about this, you have to stay tuned till the end. Ray Dalio, a prominent investor and founder of Bridgewater Associates, has recently issued a stark warning about the state of the global economy. His insights touch on three critical factors reshaping the economic landscape: unprecedented levels of debt and money creation, rising internal conflicts over money and values, and shifting global power dynamics. In recent years, the global economy has seen an unprecedented rise in debt levels. According to the International Monetary Fund, global debt hit a staggering $307 trillion by the end of 2023. This amount represents over 350% of the world's gross domestic product, surpassing any previous record. For context, in 2008, global debt was around $180 trillion, showing a dramatic increase over the past decade and a half. This surge in debt is largely driven by government borrowing and central bank policies. For instance, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, governments worldwide implemented expansive fiscal measures to support their economies. The U.S. government alone added over $5 trillion to its national debt during the pandemic, bringing the total U.S. national debt to over $33 trillion by mid-2024. Such large-scale borrowing is intended to stimulate economic activity, but also introduces significant long-term risks. The massive increase in money supply has led to notable inflationary pressures. In 2023, the global inflation rate averaged about 6.5%, a sharp increase from the 1.8% average in 2019. In the U.S., the Consumer Price Index saw inflation rates spike to around 6.2% in 2023, compared to just 1.4% in 2020. High inflation diminishes the purchasing power of money, making everyday goods and services more expensive. For example, the price of consumer goods like groceries and gas has risen significantly. In 2023, the price of a gallon of gasoline in the U.S. averaged $4.50, up from $2.50 in 2020. Similarly, the cost of basic groceries such as milk and bread has seen significant increases, further straining household budgets. Looking at historical examples, periods of rapid inflation have often followed significant increases in money supply. In the 1970s, for instance, the U.S. experienced stagflation, a combination of high inflation and stagnant economic growth. The Federal Reserve under Chairman Paul Volcker responded by increasing interest rates dramatically. By 1981, the federal funds rate had reached over 20%, leading to a recession but ultimately bringing inflation under control. The current economic situation mirrors these past inflationary trends, albeit on a larger and more complex scale due to the sheer volume of debt and global economic integration. As of mid-2024, central banks around the world are grappling with how to balance monetary policy to manage inflation without stifling economic growth. The current economic climate has profound implications for investors. Traditionally, cash is considered a safe haven, but with inflation eroding its value, holding large amounts of cash is increasingly seen as a poor strategy. For example, if inflation is running at 6% annually, the real value of cash savings diminishes by the same rate. Bonds, which are debt securities issued by governments or corporations, are also under pressure. With interest rates low and inflation high, bonds often provide negative real returns. In 2023, the yield on a 10-year U.S. Treasury bond was around 3.5%, but with inflation at 6.2%, the real return is negative. To navigate this environment, investors are turning to alternative assets such as equities, real estate, and commodities. Historically, equities have provided a hedge against inflation. For instance, the S&P 500, a broad measure of U.S. stock market performance, saw gains of 15% in 2023, reflecting investor confidence in equities as a long-term hedge against inflation. Dalio also highlights the increasing internal conflicts within countries, particularly over issues related to money and values. Political polarization has reached unprecedented levels in many democracies, affecting economic stability and governance. In the United States, for example, the political divide between Democrats and Republicans has intensified, resulting in frequent clashes over fiscal policies, social issues, and government spending. This polarization is evident in legislative gridlock. The U.S. government has experienced several shutdowns in recent years due to disagreements over budgetary issues. In 2023, a government shutdown occurred for 16 days, disrupting federal services and causing uncertainty in financial markets. Such conflicts not only disrupt governance but also undermine investor confidence and economic stability. Historical precedents show that intense internal conflicts can lead to significant economic and social upheaval. The French Revolution of 1789 was fueled by economic disparities and social unrest. The uprising was driven by a combination of economic hardship, political corruption, and a lack of social mobility. Similarly, the U.S. Civil War from 1861 to 1865 was a result of profound divisions over slavery and state rights. The war had devastating economic impacts, including widespread destruction and significant loss of life. The current political environment, characterized by deepening partisanship and frequent government gridlock, echoes these historical patterns of internal conflict. Internal conflicts affect economic policies and market stability. As political divisions deepen, the ability to enact effective fiscal and monetary policies diminishes. For instance, during periods of intense partisanship, policy decisions become highly contentious, leading to uncertainty and volatility in financial markets. Dalio points to shifting global power dynamics as another critical factor. The rise of China, in particular, represents a significant challenge to the long-standing dominance of the United States. China's rapid economic growth and increasing global influence are reshaping the international order. According to the World Bank, China's GDP surpassed $17 trillion in 2023, making it the largest economy in the world by purchasing power parity. China also has invested heavily in infrastructure projects through its Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to build trade routes connecting Asia, Europe, and Africa. This initiative represents a strategic effort to expand China's economic influence and challenge traditional Western-dominated trade routes. The dominance of the U.S. dollar as the world's primary reserve currency is being increasingly questioned. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have discussed creating a new reserve currency to reduce their dependence on the dollar. Such a move could undermine the dollar's value and alter trade dynamics. Historical examples of shifting global power provide context for the current transition. The rise of the Dutch Republic in the 17th century and the subsequent dominance of the British Empire in the 19th century illustrate how new powers can reshape the global order. Given the unprecedented economic challenges highlighted by Dalio, investors must navigate a complex and evolving environment. Diversification remains a key strategy to manage risk and optimize returns. Spreading investments across various asset classes such as stocks, real estate, and commodities can help balance portfolios and mitigate the impact of adverse market movements. Broader economic forces, including natural disasters, pandemics, and technological advancements, also can impact financial strategies. Technological advancements, including artificial intelligence, present both opportunities and risks. AI technologies are transforming industries and creating new investment avenues. So what are your views on this? Do let us know in the comment section below.